Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. And we're finally at Designer Dreadnoughts after doing all of these rubbish missions. So, we get to build a Dreadnought, and then we have to go against Semi-Dreadnought, and a Pre-Dreadnought, and some other stuff. I think I'm going to go mixed again. So we have choices. We have the Dreadnought 1, the USA Dreadnought, the Long Dreadnought, or the Wide Dreadnought. I might go for the Long Dreadnought. Yep, me too, Volrusk. I like the long one. Now we do have cage masks here, but you'll see, unfortunately, we were getting them quite late. And that long-range accuracy buff is nice, but it's useless. So, yeah, we'll go with that one. And 10 base accuracy is pretty good. Go with those two. 61 smoke is pretty good. There we go. I know it looks a bit weird, but should work. The large wides, yeah. I was wondering if we could get one that was going to be the same height, but nope. No, not going for the cage mask. Hey there, Uranus. What kind of guns do we get access to? 13s. Well, that's pretty reasonable. Prepare for the comment section to complain. Too much of an halfway offset. Just wondering if I can fit another gun in somehow. No, not unless I... Well, mind you, I might have access to it. Yeah, I do. I can make the ship bigger. Try and balance everything out a bit better. That has to go there, right. That's actually made it worse, hasn't it? Yeah, let's go for a more compact ship then. That's the other option. There we go. Now we don't have the offset problem. I could maybe try a queue, but the annoying thing about... I was looking for an opportunity to put a queue in. Maybe if you go for the maximum size, but the choices of funnels, and like if there was an enormous funnel, like a 50 or a 60 smoke interference funnel, I could do a Q turret, no problem. But It's just a little bit tricky, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get it in. Now, I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's lighter enemies. Cruisers, so it would be nice to have some 6-inch guns for support. That'll do. And just to keep the the bridge crew happy, I'll put some 2-inch guns on the top. There we go. I think that looks pretty good actually. Turbines. How fast can we make this thing go on just the natural boilers? Really? 29 knots. Okay. Secondary guns are lighter than casements. Yes, but I can only fit... You can fit fewer of them. Plus, you know, casements, man. The reason casements are so heavy is because the arm, how protected they are. I mean, these things have 9... Like, where is it? Yeah, 11 inches of armour on them. Weight is an issue though. Let's go standard bulkheads. Ballistites, TT. Might have to go standard gun reload then. Might have to go slower. I think I'm being a bit ambitious with that speed. It's not as much of a reduction as I hoped for. Yeah, I probably can take a funnel off at this point without affecting things. Yep. Fortunately, funnels aren't that heavy. How fast can we go on a 2-funnel design? 25 knots. 25 knots would be okay. I think that's a reasonable speed. Our option would be going down to 12s, but that means using those disgusting Italian things. I would like to keep that. Might have to be on the secondary armament. Yeah, secondary armament's far too heavy. Let's go for 5-inch casements. With a couple of backup 5-inch secondary guns like that instead. There we go. Yeah, it was the 6-inch guns. That was too much. Got a little bit of a 4 weight offset. Go. Would be nice to get a little bit more armor, but I don't think we're going to manage too much. Oh, nope. And then I'm going to spend the rest on crew. There we go. I could make it more compact, I suppose, but I think this is okay. I think this is okay. I think this will work. I hope it works. Bearing in mind, we're not fighting another Dreadnought. We're fighting a semi-Dreadnought. This thing. Let's go have a look. Yeah, we're fighting this. So I think compared to that, the Kentucky here looks pretty nasty. What the hell is that? Yeah, indeed, the enemy ship does look quite interesting. Yeah, it does look like a second generation Dreadnought, this one. Look at those enemy ships again. Oh man, France, what are you doing? 9-inch guns. Good lord. Okay. We also have light cruiser out the front, which has 7s, and an armoured cruiser which has something. Come on, 6s. So we definitely have the big guns. Bum, bum, bum. Hey there, King Good. Yeah, French battleships can be a bit on the weird side, that is very true. Took out a main gun. That's a lucky hit. Oh no, this is a bit different. Okay, 13-inch guns, there we go, that's the actual semi-Dreadnought. That's their pre-Dreadnought, and then here's their semi-Dreadnought. That's definitely the threat. Having, you know, your guns. Oh no, that light cruiser is not allowed to come that close if it has torpedoes. Good rangefinders. Why can't you have two different types of battleship in custom? I don't know. Yeah, you do sometimes see this in the Naval Academy, where AI can have different classes of ship, which is pretty nice. It can happen for you too. Like you can be designing one class of battleship, and then you get an allied battleship which is completely different. Pretty good damage. Come on, sink. Thank you. That armoured cruiser is also getting a bit big for its boots. You do have to sink all the enemies anyway, by the way. Oh, ammo detonation. Nice. Well, I mean, you'd often have a wooden deck and then you'd have an armor plate underneath. We do have deck armor. I think we've made them go away. They're pretty heavily damaged. We can pick them off later. Hood wasn't destroyed by a deck hit. You know, the Admiralty kind of thought that's what would happen because Hood's deck armor was considered bad, but it's not what took her out. It was a hit below the waterline because of the way her wake went past the hull at that speed. There was a section exposed kind of here on the ship, and there was a shell struck her really low down. Basically went underneath the armor belt. I think it hit the one of, is it 4-inch? It was one of the secondary magazines, but it was right next to the main magazine for X. Right, we've pretty much battered those cruisers in. We can finish them off later. Just want to finish off the Roland. Do not like the idea of them. Oh, that one doesn't have torpedoes. Never mind then. Time to attack the Bouvet then. Well, I mean, we're Bismarck's thinking is tricky. We know that the order to scuttle the ship was given, and we know that the crew tried to do it, but I don't think it actually sunk the ship. Like, there's plenty of evidence that the shells and torpedo hits managed to were plenty to put it down. Yeah, well, the Royal Navy did, because they kept Rodney or Nelson around in Scapa Flow for the rest of the war in case Tirpitz came out. There was an attempt to do that, Halford, but yeah, looking at it, that probably didn't make any difference. The ship was going to sink anyway, and the British never considered capturing her either. But overkill is the best kill. If you're not engaging on your terms, then you're doing something wrong. Not to say that doesn't happen, of course. Sometimes you have to. I think the Bouvet's about to sink. There we go. But if you have a choice, you're much better off basically guaranteeing victory before you engage. Yeah, sinking the hood was not good for Bismarck, because it basically forced, the Royal Navy was basically determined to sink it at that point. No, well, Germany used its naval assets pretty poorly, and their most successful naval, they didn't realise what was actually working for them quickly enough. Submarines and what are they called? I want to call them Q ships, but that's not what the Germans called them. The merchantmen that had guns hidden in them. Those things. They were very, very successful. Far more than the heavy cruisers, the surface raiders, any of that stuff. Yeah. No, they should have. But I mean, even if they had focused on those auxiliary cruisers, thank you. At some point, the Allies were going to develop airborne sonar and things like that, which severely limited U-boat operations. I'm purely talking in terms of tonnage sunk. I'm not having to go at the Sydney. Like if you look at the surface ship raiders, those auxiliary cruisers sunk more tonnage than any of the other German ships, because they were sneaky pirates, basically. Yeah, I mean, if Germany had been able to build a full fleet, sure, but the Germans actually did very well with what they had, punched above their weight, but the Kriegsmarine was not up to snuff. Might have been a bit different if the Germans had captured the French fleet. That would have given them an access to a lot more ships. But, no. And apologies for this taking a while, but ranged gunnery is not exactly a forte in this era, because that ship, although it's terrible, does have torpedo launchers on it. Can't get right next to it. Yeah, how Japan lost the Pacific? Midway was the key one. So the Japanese had a few strategic weaknesses that they didn't really realise. One was that they couldn't replace air crew very easily. So they had, this amazing carrier force, but anytime they took losses, that was more or less a permanent loss. Their industrial base was not able to match the USA either, which they kind of knew. And in a protracted war, they knew they were going to lose, which was why the idea was to knock the USA out straight away. But they didn't really understand how the Americans would actually react. So faulty political intelligence. They didn't realise that the Americans could pretty much read all the Japanese messages going backwards and forwards, or at least enough of them you know, be able to cause, you know, problems. They knew. Oh, we know what the Japanese are up to, at least in part. The Japanese had a culture of, you know, pilots would report, "We have destroyed an American carrier. We destroyed 6 battleships," or, you know, a whole cruiser fleet, when they hadn't. They damaged a carrier, and they sunk a few destroyers. So they never had accurate information about how the US fleet was actually doing. Things like that. It's just strategic weaknesses is what ended the Japanese. You can have the best kit in the world, but I mean, the Yamato and the Musashi never got to really do anything, because, you know, they never got to do that battleship duel that they were designed to do, because they were just smacked by aircraft. Solomons, yeah. Oh, I mean, you know, there's a lot too specific, but the turning point from Japan having dominance to it being much more even, I think, was Midway. Yeah, that's another good one. Antonio, the Army and Navy really worked against each other. The Navy lied to the Army about losing. What? No, carriers are fine. Even when they were not fine, they were sunk. Yeah, Enterprise, they thought they'd sunk about 5 times over or something. But not just Enterprise. I think that happened with Lexington as well, and Yorktown, and, you know, it just really had. They had real problems with that. Why am I going so slowly? It's annoying. Right, down goes the Roland. Now we just need to finish off those 2 cruisers that were pretty heavily damaged. I'll continue chit-chatting. Yeah, speed's been cut quite significantly. I mean, we don't have that much water on board. Could be that I don't have a auxiliary engine. Starting to accelerate again, though. Bring out the paddles. I know the enemy's going even slower. Well, yeah, absolutely, Volrosk. Like, you know, the Japanese knew that, though. They did know that if they got it into a retractable, the US, they would eventually lose, because the USA could just outproduce them, had access to all its own resources, you know, whereas Japan was vulnerable, even once it captured oil in the Dutch East Indies and things, because you know, if you intercept the oil on the way back to Japan, can't really use it. If the Americans had a working torpedo, the war in the Pacific might have been even shorter. Nope, no engine damage. It's a problem with the early ships. You slow down a lot if you take damage. But we can see we're starting to build speed again. It's because I did a hard turn. What was that? Yep. Stubbornness. Refusal to believe that, you know, things are... I think it's actually the funnels being shot up that's causing me to slow down. well. There we go. Where's the next one? Over there somewhere. Bum, bum, bum. The Mark 14 was after garbage, just in general. It's a terrible weapon system. And you look at a graph of like sinkings by US submarines, and it's like nothing until they fix the torpedoes, and it's like took out more of their own submarines at the start than they did anything else. I think yeah, it must have been quite late, 1942, early 1943, I think it was, and they finally fixed some of the issues with it. Romanian Navy, I don't know anything about that. A single pre-Dreadnought pootling about in the Black Sea, I suppose. Yeah, time limit, we should be okay for the time. Heavy cruiser can see us and is shooting at us, so we're not that far away from it. Of course, because the towers are shot up, I can't see the damn thing. There it is. Spotted it at, yeah, about 6 kilometers. So. Well, the captains unfortunately weren't there to give a report. It was just US submarines would go missing. Not that bad. I think I'm not sure that's a hole or a divot. Couple of holes back here. Really not bad. Bum bum. Seagoing ironclad. Goodness me. Yeah, I need a new superstructure, definitely. Superstructure. Whoa, shit! No. Ow. Forgot about that. I was too busy reading your comment. Oh, for God's sake. If I have to do this mission again because of that, I will be so annoyed. I know. Damn fish. Completely forgot they had torps on the side. What was I about to say? Yeah, superstructure armor on this ship is not good. Not good. Which is why they're all red at the top. But it's really heavy. Superstructure armor is really heavy. I think I'm in there, out there fire arc now. Come on. Yeah, only has side launchers. like it. So, there we go. Not the best, but a success nonetheless. Hey, hope you enjoyed that one, those of you on YouTube, and I'll see you again soon for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Bye for now.